Well, it's Pastor Dan again here in Roanoke, Virginia, getting ready to share a thought with you for, I guess tomorrow is going to be the 20th of September, coming up already. And I was just thinking about some things here, and one of the things that came to mind was Isaiah 40:31. Very interesting verse of scripture. But there's a word in there talking about waiting. And I remember back in school, even back in grade school, that the teacher would line us up, and she was going to have a special prize for us or just a special gift. And if it was really during Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter time or even Valentine's Day, we knew it was going to be something special. So you'd line up, and she would pass out the little gift or whatever it might be. We always looked forward to it. And I always remember that when people would tell me, hey, line up, we're going to get something, that was always an interesting thing to do. I remember one time, Great Lakes Naval Training Center. I got in there, and of course, they took away all my civilian clothes, and they gave me a thing called a mattress cover, long, looked like a giant pillowcase, but it was big. Anyway, I wrapped my arms in that, and I had a piece of paper sticking out of my mouth, and the paper was probably about a foot long, and it had all of my sizes on it. It had my height and my weight, and it had my shirt size and pants, trouser size, shoe size. And I would walk along, and as I did, these men from the Navy would fill up this mattress cover with clothes. And I had four beautiful blue uniforms, and I had four white uniforms. Then I had four dungaree uniforms, and I had shirts, and I had a number of white hats, and I had the famous Donald Duck hat that the U.S. Navy used to give out years ago. Had that, and then shoes. Had several pairs of dress shoes and a pair of boots and socks, and everything that I would need to be in the Navy. Well, I was really thrilled. I mean, here you get all these clothes, a whole great big mattress cover filled with brand new items. Then we drug that over to the barracks and everything, and then they said, now wash it. We had to wash everything, so of course, except the shoes. We had to wash everything, hang it out to dry, and then fold it according to Navy regulations, and they gave you a chart on how to do that. Because you had to pack that thing into about just a couple of feet by a couple of feet space. But it was kind of a fun thing to get all of those free gifts. We lined up and got all of those wonderful things that took care of us for the next 4 years worth of clothes. So that was really great. Well, the scripture also in Isaiah 40:31 says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." Very famous scriptures. One of those scriptures that occurs many times on a plaque, hanging in your living room or in the bedroom or in the hallway. One that reminds you that the person that waits upon the Lord shall have their strength renewed. And that's really a tremendous and powerful thought. It's not just waiting for something by, not doing anything. It's not just to sit there with idleness, you might say, in your life. You don't just do it that way. But you're trusting God to provide the salvation that He has promised. And we realize that in this world today, many people are looking for salvation. When I'm talking about salvation, I'm talking about salvation for eternity, where we're going to spend the rest of our lives. And that's important for us. Very, very, that's the most important question of all. But it's easy for us to say, yes, we trust the Lord for our salvation. I think a lot of people do that. Just like we were talking yesterday, it's easy for someone to tell somebody else, trust the Lord. He's going to renew your strength. He's going to provide you with that salvation. And then when it comes down to our lives, often we fall short. We just don't want to do that. You know why? Because we want to come up with our own way. We want to be sure we get into heaven. And so we'll start adding everything we can possibly think of in order to try to guarantee us a spot in heaven. And so we try to do all kinds of extra things. But you know, Isaiah also said in chapter 64, he said, all of our righteousness is as filthy rags. So anything that we have, any possible goodness that we might think about, compared to God's holiness and for his standard, is nothing more than a filthy rag. And that's quite a change, quite a contrast. So that kind of tells us that anything that we come up with is not going to be worth anything. Not going to be worth anything at all. Just filthy rag. But he says that we shall mount up with eagle's wings. Now that's a precious thought. You know, there was a song that came out, I think it was 1979. And I think Joncas wrote the song, and it was written by a Catholic priest. But it's become very popular. It's a song that sung a lot at funerals and everything, but and it's sung not only in Catholic churches, but even in Pentecostal churches and in Protestant churches. And it's that song that's called On Eagle's Wings. As we think about On Eagle's Wings, and that'll be our song for today. You kind of think about that. It says, you who dwell in the shelter of the Lord, who abide in the shadow for life, say to the Lord, my refuge, my rock, in whom I trust. And he will raise you up on eagle's wings and bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun and hold you in the palm of his hand. The snare of the fowler will never capture you, and famine will bring you no fear. Under his wings your refuge, his faithfulness your shield. Well, that song comes from not only Isaiah 40:31, but even from Psalm 91. Has a number of thoughts there, and it's really a very interesting song. Got a kind of just a haunting melody as you would listen to that song. Well, that will be our song, you might say, for today. Think about that, going along with the thoughts in Isaiah 40:31, and then trust him. Trust, wait upon the Lord, and he shall indeed renew your strength. Keep on praying for those who have needs, and especially those that you'll be coming in contact with in the days ahead that need salvation. Certainly we want to lift them up in prayer. And be in prayer for one another, be in prayer for your families, your friends, and think of those things. And some of the special needs that we've mentioned in the past, be in prayer for those. Haven't heard any word on Wayne Abbott yet, but continue to pray for him as he heals. Pray for others who are dealing with cancer, Parkinson's, MS, all kind of disastrous diseases. Pray for them, but also pray for the spiritual needs that people have. And you know what? Pray for wisdom and understanding for one another. May the Lord bless you and keep you and guide you and watch over you in the days ahead. And with the Lord willing, we'll see you on Wednesday. Thank you.